Right lads, what we saying? Fucking, this video, I had to reshoot it a few times because this gremlin wanted to come and see me, that I love very much. This is Luna. And she was trying to crawl up on this chair, and then I got her up on the chair mid-video, and then I realised I was taking too long to speak and shit, and this dog is kind of annoying, yeah, because I love her. But when I get super hyper successful, which is kind of what this video is about, is a shift in who I am, and I'm drawing the line from my past self, because that geezer is lost, bro. But to an extent, but it's all karma, and it's all, I don't know, look, fuck everything I just said. What I'm saying is, when I'm more successful and shit, I won't have to be limited to this room with this dog, because I tried to film, if you've watched some of my past content, this doggy here is like snoring in the background, full blast, and I can't do anything about it because I have anywhere, like, this is, if I was fucking a billionaire, then obviously, not fucking a billionaire, if I was a billionaire, I could fuck a billionaire. That would probably, maybe, be useful to me to get some cash dollars, which I don't have right now, but I will, and let's get right into the shtick. This is what the video is about. Right. How do I start this? Look, I tried to start it a few times, and I was just smiling and going, I don't know how to start this video, but I will, and I was saying things like, do you feel the love recently? I feel the love recently. I really feel like, I know this is kind of sounds delusional, because a lot of people say it, but I think 2024 is going to be my year in a lot of ways, because I feel a lot of super clarity and motivation. I saw this YouTube banner for this personal development YouTuber. I can't remember his name exactly, but he had like clarity and motivation, and then like, you know, the fucking, what's it, with the weird V bracket. If you're watching the video, you can see all my hands, but it's like basically clarity over motivation. And motivation's a very tricky one, because a lot of these personal development YouTubers will tell you, like, and on a previous recording, the reason I stopped the recording and restarted the whole video is because it was taking too long, and I started listing loads of personal development channels that I thought most people won't be familiar with. But the reason I started to do that is because what I was just talking about with motivation versus clarity, or clarity over motivation in terms of value, is a lot of these personal development YouTubers, if you're familiar, or life coaches, are deluded. I could start listing them. I'll leave it out for a second, but what I'm saying is, well, just quick time. A lot of these personal development channels, like, I was watching Andrew Tate the other day, right? Obviously, he's like super mega famous, so he's likely a good example, but you haven't got to know who this is, you probably do, and he can sit there at the camera going, like, you're at the same place you were last year, you need to get off your ass and go get shit, and like, go get success and that, and it, I watched Andrew Tate's Christmas message, is it? I believe, of this year, end of 2023, coming to 2024, which I feel will be my year. And he says like, oh, what did he say? Sorry. Oh fuck, I can't reach the pause button because of my setup. I've got a fucking glass, a cup, leaning on my phone. Like, that's what I mean, man. Like, now's not my time in the limelight because of this fucking setup and shit. Like, I need to get my shit sorted. If you've been familiar, like, almost all of my videos end with, I'm running out of storage, see you later. So that should be a major red flag. If you're taking advice from me, if I'm trying to give you wisdom, I'm trying to tell you how it is, but my phone is always on the verge of running out of storage, that, the kind of essence of that is the predicament that I've been in terms of, like, I can say all this stuff, I can take psychedelics, I can have insights, I can try and preach to you on the camera, etc., about the way I think it is, but my life has been fucked in the background, right? And that's what I was going to bring Andrew Tate up, because he's like, Andrew Tate is like, Andrew Tate will make you feel like shit for being undisciplined, basically. Like, you need to go get success. This is what I was going to say with his Christmas message, sorry. So, on his Christmas message, I believe it was, he says, like, something along the lines of, if you told me what you done in the past day or the past year, I'd be bored. oh, what did you do? Go to the movies? What? Like, right? He has no idea about psychedelics. This is one of the main things with the personal development channels is the missing link. See my video, What Hamza Forgot. Hamza has dabbled in psychedelics a bit. He's another personal development YouTuber, a masculine role model for young men, mainly. And I've got a lot of value from people like Andrew Tate and Hamza, and the whole personal development scene. I tend to refer to them as grounded Western personal development, because there's that, and then there's the spiritual side. And the spiritual side is like Ramana Maharshi, Alan Watts, and this is the predicament to me. You haven't got to know who these people are, and I'll move on, sorry, so don't click off this video, but like, how Alan Watts and Hamza and Andrew Tate and Ramana Maharshi can all exist in the same world with absolutely different perspectives in terms of like, some of them will just go with the flow and let go, and then some of them will say, if you're not disciplined and you haven't retired your family, you should feel like shit because you're a young man and you should go get it. I didn't intend to rant exactly about this, but will tie holistically into this whole video. But basically, the reason why Andrew Tate and Hamza and most personal development YouTubers, better ideas, I love all these channels for the most part. You know, I'm not going to list loads of channels, but basically the reason they're deluded, not that I haven't been in the past, and not that I still am, like I'll humble first, but when Andrew Tate said, oh, if you told me what you've been up to, I'd be bored. And then he goes on to tell us what he's been up to. Bugattis, fast cars, fucking going out with girls, champagne, doubling the fucking bill when he goes out to eat. Like, I'll triple the bill because I've got so much money. Flying on jets, permanent holiday. You know, if you're familiar with Tate, then I don't need to tell you. Right. But what Andrew Tate doesn't have is knowledge of self. What do I mean? Andrew Tate actually believes that he's Andrew Tate. Likely. He doesn't, because everything's fundamentally illusory, which is Maya. What I mean is that we live and reside in the center of an infinite paradox. But my problem is these fucking influencers, Andrew Tate and these personal development channels, you will start watching them on this EMF emitting thing, EMF radiation, but that's not relevant. You'll start watching them, and you'll assume that you want what they're selling you. So you'll watch them and go, there's a lot of deception with social media. It's so crazy. Like, all you have to do is hold someone's watch time and make them think that the point is coming. Like, I could, by all means, pull an Iman Gatsi or whatever. And look, I'm not saying that these people lack spirituality. Like, I've heard that Iman Gatsi has had, I don't know if that's how you say his name exactly, but I've heard that he has had some spiritual past in a sense, or he did go in and out of depression at some point. But my main point is you'll watch them, they'll tell you why you need to work harder, you need to be more disciplined, and I absolutely did, and I do need to. I've been incredibly lazy, like smoking weed, being very undisciplined, and this is why the shift has happened for me, is because, one, when I said that I could pull Ease Van Gatty, which basically is, I could come on here, or I could pull an Alex Sedlak, a fake it till you make it. Sorry, I'm not saying that is inherently the case, Alex. I'm sure that you are actually balling, and I love you. You've got a good message. However, you said that you smoked weed and then it kind of tripped you out, and now you'll never touch weed again. And to be honest, that's just reflecting your inner demons, because these are plant medicines, or maybe not. Maybe psychedelics aren't for everyone. I'm sorry, I don't mean to go on a sporadic tangent. I need to stay holistic, but holistically, this video is tying loose ends in the end. So wait for it, mate. It's not just talking about me; it's talking about you as well. If you're familiar with my shtick and these people who I'm talking about, then my main vision is like to provide value to people who are potentially going through the same thing that I went through. But yeah, so I was saying, I've been unlazy and undisciplined and unmotivated, so I could have done with the lessons from Andrew Tate and these influencers of these personal development channels. And I have made that shift into being more productive and pragmatic, having to lay back on the psychedelics for a minute, because, well, at least the way I was doing them, I was doing them in like a Leo Gura solipsism manner, where like the whole dream just literally collapsed and like you just go into spiritual psychosis kind of, which is another thing. I have definitely had my fair share of some form of like mental illness in the past, 100%. I used to be very depressed in the past. And a lot of it is because of these influencers like Andrew Tate telling me that I need what I don't have. But Andrew Tate has something, I have something that Andrew Tate and these influencers don't have. I know I do. Because when I'm talking about being undisciplined and unmotivated and being lazy, etc., maybe that's because, mate, Andrew Tate, your Bugatti means fuck all to me. Your champagne means fuck all to me. Your money means fuck all to me. Why? Because I'm awake. And Andrew Tate loves to talk about NPCs, etc. But you're feeding the machine, Tate, in a way. Look, I'm not gonna hate on Tate inherently. But what I mean is you're making young men and you're making a generation want to kill themselves because you're not conscious of what you're doing. Conor Murphy, I think, touched on this a bit. See his movie, The Full Story of Conor Murphy's Clinical Insanity. He went off the deep end with psychedelics. He used to be a hench, macho, masculine geezer, and then he awoke with ayahuasca and spiraled out of control like I did. I know it seems very deluded from the outside, but it's tricky, because an important point is that deep psychedelic awakened states, you can be so conscious that you can barely talk. And that seems deluded from the outside, but it's actually too radical to comprehend from your state of consciousness. I've had some radical awakenings where I've had conversations with human beings, and you can be absolutely convinced in your direct experience, but when you sober up and it turns out that, like, because I have trip reports and videos that I've recorded where I've been absolutely, like, off my head on psychedelics in a radical awakened state, or so I thought. But when I watch the video back, I'm incoherent and deluded, like Conor Murphy. But that's because you're not aware of what's happening to the consciousness in the video, like Conor Murphy or myself. But anyway, I didn't mean to talk about Conor Murphy there. So Conor Murphy speaks on how Andrew Tate and these personal development influencers are unconsciously pushing a paradigm that is making people like myself suicidal. Yes, Andrew Tate, you done that to me. Yes, Hamza, you done that to me. I ultimately done it to myself because there's no separation, because all is self and all is being dreamt within the mind of God. Just like when you dream at night time, you can dream multiple beings, as I did last night. I dreamed that I had some weed, because I've recently quit weed, which is why my energy is different now. It's why I seem more manic, because I'm two different people, and the only person you've known until this point is the weed version, for the most part. But now I've dropped weed. I'll go back to weed eventually, because it's the Holy Grail. If it's good stuff. So yeah, I done it to myself, and all is ultimately karma and God is love, and you haven't got to believe me on this, but I trust the universe at this point. So Hamza didn't do it to me, because I done it to myself, because God is deceiving itself through infinite self-deception, because when you dream at night time, you can dream multiple beings, you can dream, I also dreamt that my mum, you can dream that there's an environment with individual people who have their own individual perception. But obviously all of that is happening in your brain at nighttime. So who's to say that, like, the fabric of that is ultimately sense perception, and so is this. But it's just different levels of consciousness, and psychedelic radical awakenings is a state of consciousness. This now is a state of consciousness. Weed is a state of consciousness. dream and sleep is a state of consciousness. Being tired is a state of consciousness. Being hungry is a state of consciousness. Being greedy, selfish is a state of consciousness. Everything I said there is almost stole from C. Leo Gura's video of actualize.org, who radically changed my life 2 years ago when I started my channel, themed around awakening and psychedelic and personal development. See his video, Everything is State of Consciousness. Andrew Tate telling me I need to be more disciplined on YouTube videos, that's a state of consciousness. No self is a state of consciousness. Psychosis, mania, madness is a state of consciousness. Right, so let me tie up the loose ends quick with this Andrew Tate shtick. And these influences is the reason that Andrew Tate made me want to kill myself, and Hamza, ironically, right, you think, how could Hamza make me want to kill myself? A channel that he is, I know Hamza is a good person, or everyone acts from good intentions. Another video by Leo Gura of actualize.org, I absolutely recommend. Beyond Hamza, beyond Andrew Tate. Actualize.org and Mr. Nature, who I've done a lot of podcasts with, and Psychedelic Actualization, they are top intellectuals. I don't listen to an intellectual much these days if they haven't done psychedelics, because they don't know fuck all. You can't. And Hamza has done a bit of psychedelics, but he hasn't had a radical God consciousness awakening yet, like Leo Gura, Mr. Nature, and Psychedelic Actualization, who I've done a podcast with all of those except Leo Gura. Right. So, sorry, 1 second. I think my mum might be coming home, that's all. Or maybe not, fuck knows. Remember to breathe, by the way. If you're watching this video, you could have been consciously breathing the whole time, connecting the inhale and exhale. Attention flows where energy is directed. So instead of watching YouTube videos and thinking you're procrastinating, why don't you breathe and do breath work while you're just sat there? That's a missed opportunity. Your life is full of those. So everything is waiting on you to take action. There's infinite opportunities around you. We live in infinite abundance, but you're being long. Yeah, I gotta go, I think. Listen. Yeah. I'll see you in a minute. I'll make another video in a minute, alright? I love you.